Nebraska football on BTN is presented by Fubo TV. Just the fourth all-time meeting between the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And we welcome you inside the booth alongside Coach Glenn Mason. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and I mentioned there's turbulence around this program here in Lincoln. A turbulent week with the firing of A.D. Sean Eichhorst. So is there a lot of extra pressure for Mike Riley?
Brandon, there's more rumors flying around this town than I can count, I can tell you that. But, you know, let's be honest. If Mike Riley and the Cornhuskers were 3-0, this story about the AD would probably be a side story. But they're not. They're 1-2. And, you know, last week a really ugly defeat to Northern Illinois. And they're all in the hot seat.
Yeah, well, and you might say some folks, hey, well, they got Rutgers coming in, maybe a chance to bounce back. But Rutgers feels like they've got a better team in every area than they did a year ago.
Yeah, you know, when we talked to them on the telephone, every coach said, you know, we're a lot better in every aspect of their program. Offense, defense, kicking game. Most importantly, they know their players better. You know, they got off to a great start against the University of Washington, a nationally ranked team week 1. Week 2 against Eastern Michigan, not so much. And then last week against Morgan State, they blew them out. They think they're better. We're going to find out.
They won 65-0 last week, but Rutgers has lost 14 straight conference games, and they are hoping to stem the tide here today. And if they are to do that, they're going to have to beat a very, you know, this Nebraska team that's fired up. And speaking of, Mike Riley is down there with Elise Miniker.
I was looking for you the whole time. Hey, Coach, so with all the turnovers last week, you're dealing with some injuries, starting a true freshman on the offensive line. What's the plan to protect Tanner Lee this week?
Well, we have to do a better job protecting Tanner. One of the ways to do it is to run the ball better than we've been running it. And if we can get some ground game going, be consistent there, then our passing protection will get better. And but you're right, we have to run the ball and protect Tanner Lee.
A lot has happened here in Lincoln in the last 7 days, so is there even more pressure on your team to win today?
Well, we always feel that way. You know, I think that there's been a lot go on, but we are definitely trying to always win, and we always feel that need to win.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks. Stay cool. Brandon and Glenn, back to you.
Thank you, Elise. Yes, always pressure to win, maybe a little extra pressure today on Mike Riley and company. And we mentioned that it's hot, 92 degrees, feels a little hotter than that. And we do have winds that will get up to 20, 25 miles per hour. So that could be a factor as well, especially in the kicking game. And it's time for Coach Glenn Mason to give his keys to the game. We'll get those in just a second. There is Mike Riley as we are already set and ready to kick it away. And the ball falls off the tee. We talked about the wind that will gust up to 20, 25 miles per hour. And Drew Brown, brother of former NFL kicker Chris Brown, who also played here, has to re-tee it. And for Rutgers, you would normally see Janarian Grant back to return it, but he is not with the team today, and that is a big storyline as a sidewinding kick goes back into the end zone for a touchback, as Blackshear, in the place of Grant, was ready to return it. But no Janarian Grant today for Rutgers. We'll talk more about that as we continue. Time for the principal financial keys to the game with Coach Mason.
Hey, for Rutgers, it's simple. You got to score some points. Talking to Jerry Kill, he said with the exception of last week, we're moving the football, but we got to get it in the end zone. We get it down there in the red zone. It's got to be 7. It can't be field goals. And then for Nebraska, you got to protect the football. Now, I can tell you, Tanner Lee, the quarterback, all kinds of heat. He had 3 turnovers last week. He was responsible for none of them. The wide receiver, the offensive line, you got to give him help. He's taking all the heat. It's not his fault. Give the guy some help.
Lee will be able to take over when Nebraska comes onto the field for offense, but right now it's Rutgers, and the man in shotgun is Kyle Bolden. With Gus Edwards, the Miami grad, transfer to his left, and the throw is underneath. A safe throw to Damon Mitchell, and he's got the first down before he's chucked out on the Nebraska sideline for a gain of 16 at the 41. So a good start for the Scarlet Knights.
Ooh. Hello. Welcome to Memorial Stadium.
Luke Gifford, who's been one of the bright spots for that Nebraska defense, with a pop on Bolden early. Coach told you about backup quarterback Jonathan Lewis. You'll see him when they do their special package. They like to get him the ball running, but Bolin is the better thrower. He's the redshirt senior, the Louisville grad transfer, and he hands it off this time to Gus Edwards. Very little there. The Nebraska defense stout, just a gain of a yard. Talked about Mike Riley, and on the other bench for Rutgers, it's Chris Ash, second year with the program, 43-year-old, just 3-12, but as we talked about, Coach, feels like he's got a much better unit this season.
Made some coaching changes. He feels good about where his program's going.
Jerry Kill, offensive coordinator in his first season, longtime head coach, scrambling and throwing it wide of the intended target, Hunter Hayek, and that will bring up 3rd and 9. Well, you wouldn't know of all the turmoil with the energy and how amped up the crowd is. 85,000 strong for the 357th consecutive shout-out at Memorial Stadium.
So now here's the first 3rd and long situation for defensive coordinator Bob Diaco. Does he play coverage or does he try to light him up?
Nebraska only rushed 3 there, Coach, and the pass, did he catch it? They said it was caught by Jerome Washington, the tight end. A circus catch by number 88.
Well, here's a final drive highlight right there. Look at that. Between his legs. Man.
And at the end there, might have touched the turf, and they say incomplete. So they changed it. Originally, they said complete. They're going to say incomplete as we get another look.
Yeah, I'd say I thought it looked pretty good. You see it right there. He's got, you know what? I don't know. They got to see when the ball went down. Did it just hit his foot or did it hit the ground?
Either way, it's certainly a BTN standout. It was that other look, though, at the end. And now we're getting whistles before the snap.
Ruling on the previous play is an incomplete pass. The play is under further review.
So our game referee, Mike Cannon, wants to take another look with a replay official, James Kemmerling.
Now, you think about the officials on the field in real time, and they see this. I mean, I think it's a catch. I do. I think it's a catch. I think it's a... Put that... Hey, Mike Hall, get that on your highlight film right now. That's a catch.
He's got it there.
And Brandon, how many times you hear me say that you catch things with your eyes, you got to look at him. He's catching that with his feet.
Either way, it's a heck of an effort. It was ruled incomplete. Let's welcome in right away off the bat. We get Dick Koenig involved. All right, Dick, what do you see?
Well, I'm actually agreeing with you guys. I don't see the ball touching the ground. If the ground cannot help aid a catch, and this is not the conventional way to catch a pass, but again, I don't see the ball hitting the ground, and he does possess the ball when he rolls over and the ball is on the ground, but it's in his hands firmly. I think they'll turn this to a catch.
Hey, Dick, I got a question. You know, initially the official on the spot ruled it as a catch. Somebody came in and waved them off. Is it the final ruling that you say on the field that it was not a catch?
Yes, that's what they came up with and said it was the final ruling as an incompleted pass. So now it's got to be obvious that they make it to reverse it to a catch. But I think there's enough video evidence there.
Well, for that look, he had it all the way. They took a peek at it for a while. Here's Mike Cannon.
After review, the receiver completed the catch. It'll be a first down, Rutgers.
What a grab by Jerome Washington. A 12-yard catch on 3rd and 9. And keeping the drive alive, Rutgers.
That's tough on 3rd and long, and Bob Diaco chose to play coverage. They went to man under. He had a man running with him. He actually flashed in front. He thought he could make the interception.
Speaking of Bob Diaco, he praised Jerome Washington. That man who caught the ball said, boy, he's impressed me on film. That was an impressive catch. Raheem Blackshear, his first carry. You'll see Blackshear, Gus Edwards, who we've already had, and Robert Martin as well in the Rutgers backfield. Auto Owners Insurance impact players when Rutgers has the football, Coach.
Well, you got to start off with Gus Edwards, the grad transfer from Miami. They're a run-first football team. And then how about this guy, Jonathan Lewis, a truest freshman quarterback, came in last week, 4 rushing touchdowns. They'll have a package for him. And on defense, Nick Stoltenberg. I'm going to tell you, they're going to run the ball at you, Nick. You got to get ready.
We haven't seen Jonathan Lewis yet. Still Kyle Bolin here. Firing to the outside. And it's complete. First down to Coven Bailey. His 4th catch of the season. 14 yards on this last connection.
Well, this is just a cover 2 breaker. They got a rolled up corner, so you put someone in front of the corner and you run a post flag behind them, and if the corner stays up, you throw it behind him. If he drops back, you dump it in front of him. Good execution.
And that corner, Eric Lee, made a big pop at the end, but couldn't jar the ball loose. If you're looking for the Georgia Southern Indiana game, by the way, go to btn.com/gamefinder right now to see where you can find that game in your area. Bolin with a clean pocket, going deep for the end zone, but it is out of the outstretched arms of Damon Mitchell.
One thing to watch today on the pass rush, watching film on Rutgers, I noticed that Bolin, he really does not pull the ball down and run with it unless he absolutely has to. So, you know, when you're facing a quarterback like that, you can give more freedom to that defensive line. You don't have to worry about a scrambling quarterback.
Well, they've thrown 5 passes already, just 2 rushes for the Scarlet Knights, who come in pretty balanced. 195 rushing yards a game, 176 passing through 3 contests. To Gus Edwards out of the backfield, and he couldn't stay in bounds. Was hoping to turn it upfield, but he could not. A short gain on the reception to the 30.
Look right here. Here comes the pressure, and he's underneath. You gotta credit Bolin. He stood in tall when he knew that he didn't have good protection in front of him.
Both teams have had their issues along the offensive line. Rutgers 42% on their 3rd down conversions, in the middle of the pack in the conference so far. They need 8. And they got 8. They got more than 8. Down to the 11. Hunter Hayek, the freshman from Wayne, New Jersey, reeling it in for 19 yards.
Same type of principle for just reversing the roles. You're going to put 2 on 1. You're going to put 1 guy deep. You see they're running man with him in their quarter coverage, and then the inside guy's got to get out underneath that, or it's going to be wide open.
And at the end, a dangerous hit from the safety, Aaron Williams, number 24. And I think that we're going to get a review from the booth because of that hit.
Previous play is under further review.
And he is the leader of the secondary, is Aaron Williams.
Yeah, this would be critical. He's one of those guys that you don't expect to come off the field. Bob Diaco said his term he uses is key player. He plays in all situations. He only will come off the field when he needs to come off. In other words, he's tired. He's not tired yet.
But a blow to the helmet of Hunter Hayek. And this very well could be targeting. Well, right away we get back to Dick Honig. Keeping you busy early, Dick. What did you see? Was that targeting on Aaron Williams?
Well, again, it's got an aspect that's there. It's the crown of the helmet. He's defenseless, but you can't do the crown of the helmet.
Here's Mike Cannon.
After review, you've got a targeting penalty on number 24 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. Number 24 is disqualified.
The Boos rained down at Memorial Stadium, but Dick, sounds like you agree with the call.
Absolutely. There's two aspects to targeting. One is obviously hitting a defenseless player. A runner is not defenseless, but you cannot hit head-to-head with the crown of the helmet, and that's what happened.
So this is a defense coach that's already missing Marcus Newby, very good outside linebacker. Josh Kalu, a great safety, and now their other leader, Aaron Williams, is gone.
Yeah, we talked about he's a key player, and you look at this defense, truly amazing for a school like Nebraska. They only have one senior that will play today on the defensive side of the ball, starter or backup. And that would be Chris Webber, the inside linebacker.
So Williams, who is a junior from Atlanta, Georgia, gone for targeting. And Rutgers knocking on the door. Inside handoff. And Gus Edwards is going to be a couple yards shy. To bring up 2nd and goal. Williams, by rule, cannot stay out there. He has to go to the locker room. Day over very early.
I've been outside. I don't know why a guy has to go to the locker. It's like going to your room because you didn't eat your vegetables. Come on, you're out of the game. That's fine, but locker room.
11th play of the drive. Gus Edwards stretching it outside and with a stiff arm, he gets in for the Rutgers touchdown. The Miami, Florida grad transfer. Rutgers has plenty of grad transfers, and this time it's Edwards pushing it in from a couple yards out.
Yeah, he does a great job. Nothing inside. He bounces it outside. He uses the stiff arm. They stay in the blocks on the outside, and what an impressive opening drive for Rutgers. Nothing fancy about it, just good football, good execution.
An 11-play drive to stick it in the end zone and temporarily quiet the crowd here in Lincoln. Just inside that upright, but it's good for Andrew Hart, the redshirt senior. Rutgers strikes first in the 4th all-time meeting between the Cornhuskers and the Scarlet Knights. Gus Edwards getting it around the edge. The end is presented by Fubo TV, the most sports for the least money. Visit FuboTV.com. And brought to you by Discover Card. We treat you like you treat you. Here in Lincoln, great opening drive by the visitors from Piscataway. 7-0 Rutgers. 10:28 left in the first quarter. And now we will see what the homestanding team can do. As the Huskers set to receive it for the first time in this contest. J.D. Spielman. Pretty decent return for Spielman, who had a 99-yard return against Arkansas State and a 50-yard return last week. That one for 24.
Dangerous guy. I wouldn't kick to him. He's got confidence, and he really got a lot of yards out of not much right there.
He's a great returner. On the other side, we mentioned Janarian Grant out for Rutgers. And there's the man quarterbacking Nebraska, Tanner Lee. So much talk about that interception number, but Coach, as you documented, not all of those his fault. The protection has been a little sketchy up front at times for Nebraska. Mikhail Wilbon, good hole on first down. Stretching it out just shy of the 35.
Yeah, good blocking here. Good way to start it off. And, the offensive line, you can see the left guard sustaining the block. And he went defensive tackle went inside. The end went upfield. Big gain.
The other side, it was that man, Gus Edwards, who scored the first touchdown for Rutgers. A lot of shifting pre-snap here on 2nd short. Play action. Lee. To midfield, and it's caught. We've seen some great receptions early. That one by Gabe Robb, the senior. First catch of the season for him for 17 yards.
Good protection, standing tall. We talked about Tanner Lee. I've been defending him all week on the airplane coming out here in the hotel. He's getting a bad rap, that kid. Getting blamed for everything, and most of it's not his fault.
He had the 2 pick sixes in the first quarter last week in that disappointing loss to Northern Illinois. Would have 1 interception in the fourth quarter as well. 7 total on the season. Back to the ground now. And a lot of room to run. So this offensive line coach, I said at the beginning, they're kind of much maligned to start the season, but they look good through 3 plays. Let's get the impact players now presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Let's start right off with J.D. Spielman. We've already seen him on the kickoff return. They're going to have a special package for him. He's a redshirt freshman. Mikel Wilbon. Trey Bryant's not going today, so he's going to get a lot of the work. And then Tomoko Ture, this guy, I've been watching him for years. A lot of talent. I know he's chomping at the bit to rush the quarterback.
Haven't been able to get any pressure so far. 2 good runs and a nice pass play. Mikel Wilbon, little shake and bake. Oh, a shoestring tackle. Or he might have gone the distance. And it was Tomoko Ture, who we just talked about, holding him to a 14-yard gain with that tackle.
You know, Brandon, the crowd's getting into the game, and my personal opinion is not only because the Huskers are moving the football, they're moving it on the ground. Traditionally, that's what these people all dressed in red like to see, a grueling ground attack.
3 rushes for 34 yards. They are moving it on the ground indeed. Here's the first carry for true freshman Jalen Bradley. Mentioned that Trey Bryant is out, coach, so we'll see Wilbon, we'll see Divine Ezigbo, and then Jalen Bradley, true freshman, getting his inaugural carry.
Yeah, that was a stop by Rutgers, but it was a whiff by Luke McNitt, the fullback. I mean, he came across the defensive end, put his head down, and totally whiffed him, and gimme tackle for that defensive end from Rutgers.
And the third of the 3 backs is standing to the left of Tanner Lee now. Divine Ezigbo. He's the big one, 230-pounder. But it's going to be a pass. And a completion out to J.D. Spielman. You mentioned he's a playmaker. Spun away from one, but eventually brought down. All that for 3 yards, but it looks pretty.
That guy's an exciting guy. As you mentioned, against Arkansas State, we saw him take it back 99 yards. You saw the opening kickoff, what he got out of nothing, and he's impressed everybody as a redshirt freshman, and they have a little package for him, and I think as the season goes on, you're going to see more and more of J.D. Spielman.
Searching for 4 yards on 3rd down. Tanner Lee once again protected. He's going to tuck it, move to the left and fire. Touchdown! And it's J.D. Spielman. The balloons fly in Lincoln for the first score, as they always do. And J.D. Spielman, you said he's a redshirt freshman, and that is the first touchdown completion of his career. And the extra point from Drew Brown ties us up at 7 apiece. Good action early at Memorial Stadium. Tanner Lee trying to rectify the 2 pick sixes last week. A nice throw to Spielman. Offensive score on their first drive. Here is the Fubo TV scoring drive for the Nebraska Huskers. And J.D. Spielman, he had the 18-yard touchdown catch, coach.
Yeah, heads up by this freshman. Watch right here. All of a sudden, he notices the quarterback has to scramble. He breaks out. He gets in his field of vision, and he's wide open for the touchdown. Heads up play by J.D. Spielman.
And the linebacker, Ross Douglas, in coverage, could not keep up. Having to hold the ball this time. The kickoff from Drew Brown because it is so windy here. And it will be a touchback. Let's go to Mike Hall for a T-Mobile studio update.
Hey, Brandon and Glenn, the other game going on your alternate BTN channel is Indiana and Georgia Southern, and the Hoosiers strike first. That's Morgan Ellison with a 2-yard touchdown run. Indiana's up 7-0 early.
So the Hoosiers scoring first there. We will see them next week in Happy Valley when they visit Penn State. But still a lot to be determined between the Scarlet Knights and the Cornhuskers here in this one. 7-7. But both quarterbacks coming out, combined 8 of 10. Both teams moving the ball really expeditiously there on the opening drive.
I think the best thing that the Huskers have done is come out and they've established the run. You know, that's what they need to do. And
watch that play clock. It's already inside of 5. They were over on the sideline forever. They do get the play off and hand it to Gus Edwards. Is that just miscommunication over on the sideline there?
I'll tell you, that's one thing as a coach. You never want to get a delay game coming out of a timeout. Dead ball like that makes you look really bad.
We're able to line up and muster 2 yards out of it to bring up 2nd and 8. Bolin fakes the give, rolls with protection. Not a ton there on the catch by Jacobin Bailey. A good tackle that time by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, not a ton there, but a good play because now it puts him down into a 3rd down, really workable situation to convert for the first down.
Lamar Jackson, that big corner at 6'3", keeping it to a manageable 3rd down. 3rd and 2. As the crowd makes some noise. And that goes behind Bolin. And he just has to dive on it. A disastrous 3rd down play, and Rutgers will have to punt.
Yeah, you know, you can never have this happen. He's not looking. Center snaps the ball. It's a good snap. And, you know, you have to be able to execute the center quarterback exchange. I don't care if you're in a shotgun, T formation, to perfection. It should never happen. You've got to put that one all on the quarterback.
That's an 18-yard loss, and Rutgers moved their starting center, Jonah Jackson, over to guard, so that was their backup center, Michael Maietti. Nice special teams tackle, which limits DeMornay Pearson out on the potential return. Damon Hayes coming up, making the stop. Nebraska temperatures in the low 90s. Good news, abundant sunshine, but a bad snap led to a 18-yard loss on 3rd down, and now a punt. Nebraska takes over, but boy, they switched their center, and I know that that's something you hate as a former head coach.
Yeah, and we visit with guys, and they say the linemen are interchangeable. I told you last week, I never liked to switch that center unless absolutely had to.
But it hurt Rutgers on that last play, and now Nebraska takes over with an inside give to Mikhail Wilbon. He's tackled by corner Blesson Austin. Next Saturday, BTN Tailgate comes to you from Michigan State's campus as the pregame show for Big Ten fans gets you ready for a full day of conference action. BTN Tailgate presented by TIAA next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on BTN. Fans going in full force on both sidelines here this afternoon. Tanner Lee pumped twice and then threw incomplete. He was trying to go back to J.D. Spielman. Well, when you said that they want to go to J.D. Spielman, they are targeting him early and often.
You know, it doesn't take much when you watch the guy play, you turn on film. He jumps out at you. Even when he not the target, not getting the ball, this guy's got big-time ability. And, you know, they were fortunate. That was a late throw, and he was able to do that because it was excellent pass protection by the Husker line.
They have a shakeup on the offensive line at right tackle to the Nebraska Cornhuskers as well. This time pocket collapsing. That is a catch for a first down. Gabe Ron. So a senior who came in with no receptions on the season has 2 already, that time for 10 yards.
You talk about a shakeup on the offensive line. It's really unheard of for the University of Nebraska to start a true freshman in the offensive line.
Yeah, and they've got Brendan Hymas starting at right tackle. And what, Coach, just the 5th true freshman to start for Nebraska in their history on the O-line. That's saying something. Wilbon trying to stretch this out to the right side, but just nothing there. Ross Douglas, number 21, the linebacker, with a tackle.
Nebraska is one of those teams that does the rarity in offensive college football. They huddle. It seems like everybody else, they just line on the line of scrimmage and look over to the coaches.
There's the note on Brendan Hymas.
He's a big fella from Austin, Texas.
David Neville, the normal starter, and Matt Farniok, the normal backup, both injured at that spot. That's batted down at the line as Lee got swung around and dropped by the aforementioned Ross Douglas, the redshirt senior, getting in there to apply pressure.
Yeah, they got there and very fortunate. One more step and probably would have been ball on the ground again.
They're trying to avoid this week that they had so many issues with, especially against Northern Illinois. Tanner Lee on his backside.
Well, you know, you're an offensive team. If you handle the blitz and you burn the defense, they give up on it. But if it's effective, man, you're going to get a steady dose of it.
Nebraska 2 for 2 so far on third downs. Now 2 for 3 as Lee goes tumbling again. He had nobody to throw to. Kevin Wilkins, big number 99 at 310 pounds, was applying the pressure.
You know, if you're not going to be just get it out of the quarterback's hands real quickly, and I don't care what kind of passing attack you have, if you don't have protection, your chance of being successful is not very good. And they were doing a pretty good job early, but that last series left a lot to be desired.
Caleb Lightbourne back to punt. Second-year starter. He's having a much better season in 2017 than he did in 16. Just as I say that, that one goes off the side of his foot. Not giving Hayek a chance to return it. 7-7 our score, first quarter. 44 left in the first quarter. Brandon Gaunt and Glenn Mason here in the booth, and we welcome back in Elise Miniker downstairs.
Hi, Brandon. Earlier this week, offensive coordinator Jerry Kill told us that momentum would be very important for Rutgers. We have a young team. They've actually debuted 40 players through 3 games this season, so he said momentum is very important for us. The longer we establish that we can play with these guys earlier, the better. Momentum definitely key for a team that has lost 14 straight Big Ten games coming in here, but they feel like, we talked about in the open, Coach, better in every single spot this year than they were in 2016.
You know, that was a well-executed play on both sides right there. Nebraska bought the blitz on the run blitz. Rutgers picked it up. They cut back, but the safety fit exactly where he had to make the play for a minimal gain. Good football.
Well, in this time of trouble, we've got flags prior to the snap.
Full start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that's on the center, Michael Maietti. We talked about the change. Jonah Jackson going over to guard. So they had the 4-yard run. Now back him up 5.
Well, you're going to see him right there in the middle, and about the only way he can fall start if he goes to snap the ball and stops. I don't know. I didn't see anything there. Mike, I think you got a bad call against you there, buddy.
Bolin dropping to pass now. And wide open. Takia Griffin-Stewart. So they get those yards right back. They needed 11. They got 12.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be some completions, but the way you described that, wide open, and that's what it was. That's, I think, frustrating, you know, for everybody that's following this program on defense. They don't understand why a lot of these passes, we saw it against Arkansas State. You're seeing it at times here against Rutgers. Guys are wide open.
Nakia Griffin-Stewart, his first catch of the afternoon, 4th on the season. And a pistol look here and a lot of movement. Rutgers had just picked up their first penalty of the game.
You're going to get another one.
Ball start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the right tackle, Kamal Seymour.
Offensive line, tough to play, Brandon. You sit in there and you saw Nebraska's jumping around. They're bringing a blitz and trying to think who you're going to pick up the blitz. You got to listen to the quarterback, get the cadence right, and you got to sit in there and have some patience.
Probably doesn't help when it's 92 degrees. A wide receiver screen out to Hayek. That's blown up pretty quickly. And about 4 yards back for Lamar Jackson.
That was a dead play because they had 2 defenders out there, and you can only block one, and the corner wasn't off, so all he has to do is make a relatively easy tackle, which he did. Normally when you see a play like that, number 2 receiver, the 2 defender is way inside, and he has to run and make a play.
Kyle Bolin does have 7 completions, now 8 completions to 6 different receivers. Out of the backfield, he hits Robert Martin, but that's going to go backwards. Dedrick Young blowing this thing up before it got started. Young was an outside linebacker the last 2 years, but moved inside with a change to a 3-4 defense, showing his exploits on that play. And that will wind us down to the end of the first quarter. Rutgers struck first. Nebraska got the equalizer, 7-all. Football on BTN presented by Fubo TV. Good look at the state capitol building in downtown Lincoln, just a stone's throw from Memorial Stadium. Whereas we start the second quarter, Rutgers facing a 3rd and 13. Here comes pressure. Bolin drops it off to Martin, but he is not going to get near enough. Luke Gifford there, and it brings up 4th down.
Jerry Kill had the right call on. He anticipated the blitz. He came with the screen. Credit to Huskers. Those guys saw it. They rallied out, retracted their steps, and made the play.
A loss of 2 officially. Now DeMornay Pearsonell, who was an All-American punt returner back in 2014, has had his struggles this year. He's hoping to make an explosive play here. Ryan Anderson gets it away. And Pearsonell going back. That one way over his head. He does decide to field it, and it was not a good decision. He's going nowhere.
Almost hit the official with the ball.
60-yard punt and then a -2 return.
Sun was in their eyes. I don't think they could see the ball.
Here's the game summary. Pretty even.
Yeah, you know, it sure is. And you look at Rutgers, that -4 rushing yards is kind of skewed because that bad center quarterback exchange. That's why the score is 7-7.
Yeah, that was an 18-yard loss on that one play on the bad exchange. So after the great punt, Nebraska taking over inside their own 15. Like a pinball bouncing around. The big boy Divine Zigbo, 230-pounder, finally brought down by the safety Saquon Hampton after a gain of 8.
Yeah, there he goes. I mean, the thing about it, he's fighting. He's running hard. He's running like they would say in Nebraska, I-back supposed to run.
He had 2 carries last week. He came in late, got an 8-yard carry, and the crowd loves him. They just erupted. He only got 1 more carry in that contest. But he is a bruising back. He'll get it again. This time, no luck. Caleb Lamore with a great tackle. Let's go back to Mike Hall for a T-Mobile studio update.
Brandon and Glenn, we've got a great punt return for you here. This is the Indiana-Georgia Southern game, and it's Jayshun Harris. He gets to the corner, finds some speed, uses his blockers perfectly, and goes 70 yards for the score. Indiana now piling it on. They're up 21-0.
So the Hoosiers looking strong in Bloomington. 7-7 here in the Big Ten opener with the Scarlet Knights and the Cornhuskers. Tanner Lee backpedaling, throwing off his back foot, and he's thrown his 8th interception of the season. Bless on Austin catching it as he fell to his back.
They came with the blitz. There was some pressure, but the back did a good job of picking up the linebacker. And as you aptly said, you can't do this. How do you throw a deep ball off your back foot? He just laid it up there for grabs, a 50-50 ball, and they got 2 guys going there, and just watch it right here. No power in that. Big mistake. I've been defending him. I can't defend you on that way, Tanner. It's all you.
Bless on Austin, first interception of the season, 3rd of his career for the native of Queens. The 8 interceptions. You see the ranks right there in the Big Ten last. They only had 14 the entire 2016 season. And they give it to the Scarlet Knights in plus territory. Kyle Boland, he's got room to run if he wants, and he's going to take off and pick up the first down.
Credit Rutgers. The Huskers came with a corner blitz. The back saw it coming, picked them up, stoned the corner, and then everybody up front was rushing to the field. Could have drove a truck through there.
Both quarterbacks are transfers. Tanner Lee, well documented from Tulane, and Kyle Boland, the Louisville grad transfer. He fell to 3rd on the depth chart last year. Of course, Lamar Jackson, the starter in Louisville. But he's found a home in Piscataway. Speaking of finding things, a big hole that Gus Edwards just found to take it in the red zone.
You know, another grad transfer there in Gus Edwards. And, you know, you used to see not too long ago when programs had problems, they needed help, they went the junior college route. And now that's kind of changed. Now you go to the grad transfer route.
And we said to Coach Chris Ash, hey, did you do that intentionally after last year? He said, heck yeah, we scoured that grad transfer market. And it's paid off. Edwards again, spun down shy of the 15.
But, you know, going back to the keys to the game right here, and this is what Jerry Kill and Chris Ash talked about. You know, we like everything that's going on offense. We got to score points. And it's not coming down here and you get in the red zone and just getting a field goal playing on the road against the Huskers somehow, some way. You got to get the ball in the end zone.
Offensive coordinator Jerry Kill, he knows a thing or two about coaching. Of course, he was a head coach at Minnesota. He won here with his Minnesota Golden Gophers in 2014. Trying to get the edge. Gus Edwards is pushed out by Luke Gifford.
You know, Jerry's a football coach, and I'm sure people are saying, well, hey, they're all football. I'm saying that guy loves the coach, and I've always said there's really only 2 types of coaches. They're fundamentalists and they're schemers. You know, some guys want to get up the chalkboard, just scheme you to death, and other guys are going to beat you with fundamentals. Jerry Kill in his whole career is a fundamentalist.
5 at Minnesota, 22 years as a college head coach for Jerry Kill. His offense has a big 3rd down here. They have run the football 4 straight times. This time Bolden wants to throw it. Back corner, too far. In the vicinity of Damon Mitchell, 4th down.
Yeah, they brought a blitz again. They didn't quite get there, but they were right in his face. And, you know, pressure is pressure. Sometimes you don't get there, but it's still pressure.
One of the Davis twins, Carlos Davis, number 96, dropping him right as he threw it.
He's another, what they call a key player. He will only come out as needed, in other words, when he needs a break.
Andrew Hart from 33 yards away. Right down the middle. Rutgers regains the lead as the drive stalls. It's 10-7. Another great slate of college football on BTN and Fox Sports with 4 conference matchups, including a primetime clash between the Buckeyes and Scarlet Knights. It all starts with BTN tailgate at 10 a.m. Eastern next Saturday on BTN and Fox Sports, and streaming live on BTN To Go and Fox Sports Go. That's Dwayne Wade, yes, with his wife Gabrielle Union, who has a tie here to the University of Nebraska. Honored during the timeout, got a big standing ovation from the 85,000 plus here at Memorial Stadium. So the Tanner Lee turnover led to a field goal for Andrew Hart and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. And now J.D. Spielman will go down to a knee for the touchback. Tanner Lee, his first drive, he was 3 for 3, 40 yards, looked good, pocket was clean, but since then, Coach, 1 for 5, 10 yards, and that interception.
He has had some pressure and some bad decisions.
8 interceptions, leading all of FBS football. On his career, see the numbers I just mentioned. If you add up his time at Tulane and now here at Nebraska, he has 29 touchdown passes and 29 interceptions.
That's not good.
But a lot of people project him to play well at the next level. At least they did before this season started. They want to get it back to Spielman, this time on the ground. And Spielman across the 30. We mentioned the special guest, Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade. Well, I think Elise Miniker has found them.
Yeah, I snagged them on the sideline, guys. Hi, Gabrielle. Hi, Dwayne.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I'll be more amazing if we convert on this series.
I think everyone here agrees. You're a Nebraska girl. You were born in Omaha.
Born and raised, Cornhusker.
A year of club soccer.
Yes, yes.
So what's your favorite part about coming back here?
The sea of red. The sea of red. I mean, you know, I'm from Nebraska. I grew up in the Bay, and there's always a sea of red. No matter, you know, like the Cornhuskers, the fan base travels, and it's amazing how strong the fan base is. And I got him in.
I was going to say, Dwayne, you kind of married into the Husker family. You've played in front of big crowds before, but where does this rank? How are these fans?
Well, I play in front of big crowds, nothing like this. Man, this is incredible. You know, I did marry into the family, but I'm happy to be in. And every time you come here, when you sit on this field, especially, and you see this sea of red, I mean, it's special.
Now, where did you just come from?
What do you mean? I just came back from working out with the Nebraska basketball team.
There you go. You trained him well.
Yes. Coach Miles, I wanted him to get the full experience. This is amazing. It'll be more amazing when we win. Tie it up 2-2.
Now we just wait and see. Gabrielle, Dwayne, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Brandon, glad back up to you.
Thanks to both of those guys for joining Elise down on the sideline. Very cool stuff. 1st and 10. Fighting for those hard yards. And Zigbo, they continue to give him a majority of the carries.
Well, he's the power runner, and you're right. You mentioned before, but, you know, at the hotel this morning, the sea of red, as they put it, they were heavy in the corner saying, hey, where's Devine? Where are they playing him? I said, I don't know. I just called the game. I don't put guys in, but as you mentioned, he's a fan favorite for the way he runs so tough.
Trey Bryant out for the 2nd straight game with that knee injury. Only 85 yards rushing last week against Northern Illinois, but they wanted to get the ball on the ground. They've used all 3 backs, Wilbon, Zigbo, and that true freshman Jalen Bradley. 8 yards for Bradley there.
Yeah, this would do a lot, I think, for the Husker confidence offensively if they could just mount a really grueling running attack and just take it right down and defeat the will of Rutgers and put the ball in the end zone.
As you were saying earlier, Coach Mike Riley said, look, for us, the recipe for success is not spinning it and throwing it 40 times a game like they have been. Return to the ground for Zigbo. He's brought down by Damon Hayes after a gain of 2.
I love to watch offensive line play. When I watch the Cornhuskers right now, they're just a little bit off. They're missing their marks. They're hitting their spots. They're aimed. They're letting a little penetration, not far off, They're getting better, but that right tackle would have done a better job. That ball would have gone big.
That's the true freshman Brendan Hymus that's starting over there on that right side, number 76. Spielman in motion. They fake to him. And now the deep ball. Almost another interception. It hit the ground. Damon Hayes. Nearly a spectacular catch.
Brought the blitz. They picked it up. And you guys are in red, not white there, Tanner.
Just a clear overthrow from the junior quarterback. So now 3rd down and 8. A safe throw, but that play is going to be sniffed out and stopped. Trying to get it to Mikhail Wilbon, but coming over, Damon Hayes says no, sir.
Credit to Rutgers defense. You got to be tougher blocking on the perimeter. I'm not saying that's an easy job out there by Tyler Hoops, but you got to be stronger, more stout than that if you're going to run that play with a man right on your nose.
Caleb Lightbourne. Hey, it calls for the fair catch, almost interfered with, but he takes it cleanly from the 15, 36-yard punt. No return. Second quarter, Rutgers by 3. And we present to you the United States Marine Corps leader of the game. It's Chris Webber, senior linebacker. 3.95 GPA, nutrition science major, wants to go to medical school, team captain. He's done it all. Oh, yeah, he's married. His wife, Sam. Now, Rutgers takes over with that 3-point advantage.
Wouldn't be surprised so long to see one deep. They like to go deep.
Robert Martin with a carry.
In previous games that I watched, you saw just about what you've seen offensively out of Jerry Kill. And then his changeup or curveball is take a deep shot. Lulls him to sleep, then goes deep.
Saw good offense early. 2 touchdowns on the first 2 drives. Only 3 points since. That's a clean drop to Coven Bailey. Wide open. Would have been an easy first down.
Yeah, that's what I call a gimme throw. Quarterback looked out there. He saw the corner was way off. Soft coverage, no safety over the top. He knows that he's not going to break up and try to intercept the ball. It's pitch and catch. Good throw by Bolin.
It was extremely soft coverage from Lamar Jackson. But Bailey could not bring it in, so that makes it 3rd and 4. The Black Shirts defense, as they call them at Lincoln, trying to hold strong. It's tipped at the line and incomplete. Chris Webber, who we just discussed, getting a paw in there and disrupting the throw for Kyle Bolden.
That's the adjustments that you make, right there. He gets the hands up, knocks the ball down. Bob Diaco, defensive coordinator, played soft coverage on 2nd down, 3rd down. He went to press man and brought pressure.
And that decision paid off. Kyle Bolin had completed 7 straight passes. Now he's thrown 3 straight incompletions, and it leads to this punt by Ryan Anderson. Pearsonell escapes the group, and now he's across midfield. DeMornay Pearsonell, 10, 5, and he's pushed out just inside the 5-yard line. I mentioned he was an All-American punt returner way back in 2014. They've been waiting for plays just like that.
Yeah, when it's an athlete like that, and you mentioned that, and you said he hasn't done much of late, I was going to say, a guy like that, he's a big play just waiting to happen. The punt was on the sideline, pretty good coverage. He broke a tackle, and you give that guy green grass. I'm surprised that Rutgers kept the guy out of the end zone.
46-yard punt, 63-yard return. You do the math. Minus 17 on the net. First and goal for the Cornhuskers. Lee gives to Mikhail Wilbon. Touchdown. Wilbon is in. Nebraska leads.
And Gabrielle Union's happy again. She called it, huh?
She did indeed. Nothing fancy here. Just hard running, 4 yards, and the first lead for the home team.
I'm a little surprised that she didn't have her husband decked out in all red, though. A little surprised.
He had a little red
bit. Yeah, but
on the pocket.
Not like the Cornhusker faithful.
14-10. Mikhail Wilbon got his first career start last week. Second career start this week, making it count, putting his team in front. Nebraska 14, Rutgers 10. DeMornay Pearsonell with a great return of 63 yards. His quarterback Tanner Lee says, hey, keep doing that. Give us those short fields to work with.
You know, you mentioned before Janarian Grant isn't with us today, but with DeMornay Pearsonell and Janarian Grant, you got two of the top kick returners anywhere in the country that would have been out here today.
Yeah, so instead of Janarian Grant, this is Josh Hicks taking it from near the goal line. He will get it out across the 25, but Janarian Grant, 8 career touchdowns, 5 in the kick return area, 3 punt returns. So that is indeed a big loss that Rutgers does not have with them. Tonight, under the lights in East Lansing, it's the Spartans and the Fighting Irish. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, only on Fox. That should certainly be a fun one tonight to watch.
I'll tell you, Notre Dame likes to run the football, and you know how the Spartans like to defend the run, and they're a lot better than they were last year. That'll be big boy football, I'll promise you.
You and I saw the Spartans in person in week 2. Much improved indeed from a year ago. They'll shift. Put a couple extra bodies on the left side, and that's where they will run it with Gus Edwards. And it works. First down carry out to the 40.
They pumped the linebacker through, Nebraska did, and Rutgers picked it up. Watch they pick up both linebackers. You see the left guard come off, and when you do that, you lose the depth in your defense. You don't have a linebacker fighting over the top, so you pick everybody up. Man, it's going all the way to the secondary.
And it led to 13 yards for number 13. They go right back to him the other way. Coach, you talked about missed tackles for Nebraska on defense last week, and there were quite a few of them there. He slipped through for 6 yards.
Well, I don't know if that was as much missed tackles as a guy running with great determination. You know, we talked about him before, but he's 6'1", 235. He's a transfer from Miami. He's a grad transfer, 5th year, tough guy, and running with determination. I guarantee some people says, hey, he's running like a Nebraska guy back there.
3 years in Miami, he was right under 1,000 yards. Olin turned the wrong way, and then eventually handed it off. It's going to be a 3-yard gain and bring up 3rd and 1. The tackle by Mick Stoltenberg.
You know, big plays come in all different sizes and shapes. They're going to come down to a 3rd and 1, and here you got that's awful good middle guard play by Mick Stoltenberg. Nebraska guy, 6'5", 305, and this is a big play. 3rd and 1, everything's big plays, have to be a lot of yards. They call it a big play because if Nebraska converts, they keep the ball. If Rutgers converts, they keep going. Nebraska stops them, they get the ball back. 3rd and 1s are big plays.
Rutgers 0 for their last 4 on 3rd down, and we're going to get a timeout before the play. So we will see if they can convert when we return to Lincoln. Time to go in the huddle, brought to you by SoFi. Coach, before this 3rd and 1, what's Rutgers going over?
Hey, my man Jerry Kill down there saying we got a 3rd and a long one. They're going to try to stop the run, man. We're going to come off play action, and I'm going to hit one of my tight ends. Break it wide open here.
It is a long one. It's more like 1.5 yards. Edwards is behind the quarterback, Bolden. And it will be Gus Edwards. And he won't get there. Antonio Reed, the safety, got in there first for Nebraska.
That's short.
No gain on the play, and right now Rutgers has the offense out there, even though Mike Riley's celebrating the 3rd down stop on the other bench.
Now, if you're Nebraska, you got to watch out that you don't get drawn off sides. Big gamble by Rutgers here. Just 14-10 game with 2:05 left, and you'll turn it over at midfield.
We're going to get a timeout. With 2:04 left in the 2nd quarter. Wild Wings halftime report. Rick Pizzo, Howard Griffith, and Chuck Long will be along from our Chicago studio. They'll get you caught up on all the games and news in the Big Ten today. 4th down. Should Rutgers go for this, Coach?
They should punt it. They're only down 14-10. Punt it away. If you don't get it, you're giving the Huskers the ball at midfield. You give them time to get another score on the board before halftime.
But look at this. Kyle Bolden, the quarterback, and the rest of the offense out there. And they're going to run the play. Edwards. He stops short. The black shirts stand tall. Nebraska football.
You know, I've been critical of black shirts. Those 2 last plays, now that's black shirt defense. You see where they got to get? They got to get all the way up here. They're not getting movement. They're playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Outstanding defensive play. Now that is black shirt defense right there.
Antonio Reed was the first to get there, and Mike Riley celebrates a stop on 3rd and 1, and then another stop on 4th and 1. Rutgers had rushed so much better in the 2nd quarter, 56 yards up until that point, but unable to get it done. And now off play action, Lee slings it incomplete in the direction of J.D. Spielman.
You know, Lee would be a lot better when he breaks contain like that and there's nothing there and he's got green grass. Just put the ball into your arm and run. You're looking for somebody. You can outrun that big guy right there. He thinks he's Brett Favre on some of those things. You can't take those gambles.
Brings up a 2nd and 10 with 1:52 left in the first half. He does not run the ball often, Tanner Lee. This time he'll hand it to Jalen Bradley. He'll get it to the 45, a gain of 4. Nebraska does have all 3 timeouts already across the 50, so how do you manage the clock here?
Well, you're okay with the clock. Here's what you're thinking right now. It's 3rd down, but is it 4-down territory? Because you really don't want to gain up a couple yards and then have to punt it, and you probably don't hit a field goal from here. So if I gain a little bit, I got 2 downs to get the first.
Lee's 3 for his last 9 throwing the ball. Making 3 for his last 10, but that one should have been caught. Gabe Ron got both hands on it. Could not haul it in.
Yeah, that ball looked like it was right on the money. Good protection, good pass. Puts a little air under it. Oh, man, you got to catch that.
That was perfect. Tanner Lee couldn't have ran down there and dropped it in his hands any better.
So you have a great opportunity to get the ball at midfield. You don't do anything with it. Now you got to punt it away, and Chris Ash dodged a bullet.
And over in punt from Lightbourne. Hayek gets away from it. It's going to check up. Maybe a little too much check up. All the way back north of the 15. That'll be a 29-yard punt.
See, those situations right there, Brandon, you get the ball over and you go back and say, okay, look at our play selection right there. We got the ball, and it became a big play, 2 big plays by our defense, and we did nothing with it. Now, you're quick to say, well, we had the home run and the receiver dropped the ball, but the end result is you had to turn the ball over when you had a great opportunity to put points on the board right before the half. Those things haunt you. Mike Riley on the sideline has got a headache right now.
64-year-old head coach. 3rd year here, replaced Bo Pelini, of course, a few years ago. All the time at Oregon State. Head coach in the NFL as well. So he has been around the game of football a long time, but struggling so far to start the season.
Yeah, I've been around football a long time, and Brandon, some things change, some things never change. In football, that's true. You want to win games, you don't turn the ball over. One of the things that's leading in modern-day football is time of possession. It used to be a great indicator. You can forget about that, I think, but that turnover margin, that's huge.
8 interceptions by Tanner Lee in the 1 year in the first half. Still, Nebraska up by 4 as Scarlet Knights just want to play conservative here. And head to the lockers, only down by 4 points. Robert Martin trying to sneak it back inside. Just a 1-yard gain, and that will be the final play of the first half. We've got a good one in Lincoln. Lincoln in the 4th all-time meeting between Nebraska and Rutgers at Memorial Stadium. Offense was good early, then it smuttered. The defenses took over. Stay tuned. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report with Rick, Howard, and Chuck coming up next. Big Ten opener for Rutgers and Nebraska from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Good first half, 14-10. Cornhuskers leading it. Let's welcome back in Elise Medeker.
Hi, Brandon. I talked to head coach Mike Riley about those couple of plays to end the first half. First of all, his defense coming up big on that 4th and 1. He said, yeah, our defense is playing well. They need to stay sound in the second half. He also talked about DeMornay Pearson-Alley. He said, hey, you probably needed that. He said, oh, we needed a spark from somewhere else. It was timely was the word he used. It. As for head coach Chris Ash, I asked him the decision to go for it on 4th and 1. He says, hey, we got a big back in Gus Edwards. We want a Big Ten victory, so we were going to go for it and run the ball there. He said it's not hurting them that they don't have Janarian Grant out on the field. He said instead in the second half, they just need to make the plays that they aren't making in the first half. Head coach Mike Riley is going to have his eye on tight end Jerome Washington. He's impressed with his size. Brandon.
Thank you very much, Elise. Washington had a heck of a catch there in the first half. And Chris Ash talking about needing to get a victory. They, of course, Rutgers have lost 14 straight Big Ten conference games. They're just 4-21 in league play since coming to the conference in 2014. And Rutgers' J.D. Spielman returning it to start the 3rd quarter and stumbling out across the 20. It's time for our Quicken Loans quarterback comparison. This is what we've seen so far, Coach, from Kyle Bolin and Tanner Lee.
Well, the major thing is right there, the turnover. I mean, coming into this game, we talked about Tanner Lee. We talked about Nebraska. You have to protect the football, and, really no excuse for that turnover that he had. And close game like this, they want to win. No more turnovers for Tanner Lee.
Tanner Lee will start under center. Turn around and hand it off to Mikhail Wilbon. Nice play coming off the outside there, Trevor Morris.
They tried that counter play a number of times, and they really struggled even getting back to the offensive line and got backside pursuit, no movement at the point of attack. I hate to give up on a base play, but I think I'd put that one on the shelf for a while.
Trevor Morris was ready for it, that's for sure. He led the team with 102 tackles last year, and 84 of them came against the run. He's so good at stopping the run. He stuffed it there for a loss of a yard. And now a little short pass underneath. Tanner Lee throwing it at the feet.
I'm not sure what that play was, and by the response of Nebraska fans, they don't understand what it is either. I don't know if it's supposed to be a middle screen, but it just didn't have any definition to it.
Frustrated Mike Riley looks on as now they face a 3rd and 11. Cornhuskers 3 of 7 on these so far in this game. Intercepted. Kai Hester inside the 10 and into the end zone. And Tanner Lee, who threw 2 pick sixes last week against Northern Illinois, has thrown another here against Rutgers, and the Scarlet Knights lead it. And for Lee, Coach, that's now 9 interceptions on the season.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. And when you look at that one right there, he's well protected and no one in his face, and just a bad decision forcing the ball in there. They had too many white shirts, and to be honest with you, I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe I saw that.
33 yards on the return to the end zone for Kai Hester. We do have one of our officials down right where that play ended, around the end zone, with 14:07 left in the 3rd quarter, so hopefully he's okay.
Well, they're looking at his leg. You see him right there. He gets probably rolled up on. He's on the sideline, and yeah, he got leg whipped a little bit.
And that's John Quinn. He gets up, hopefully okay. But Kai Hester,
he's okay. Don't put any ice on it. Just keep going, baby.
Kai Hester picking off Tanner Lee. Now it is on his career, 29 touchdowns and 30 interceptions thrown, if you, again, count all the games at Tulane and now the 4 here for Nebraska. But both Lee interceptions have come on 3rd down in this contest today, and that one the more costly of the 2. Extra point is up and good. And the Tanner Lee pick 6 by Kai Hester has quieted Memorial Stadium. Rutgers in front by 3. Keys to the game and how they played out.
Well, I said for Rutgers, they got to score points. I was talking about offensive points. They've only scored 10, but defense is helping out, so that's pretty good. In Nebraska, I talked about protect the football, turnovers, and it's been disastrous. And you talk about 2 turnovers by Tanner Lee, 1 for a pick 6. Not good.
2 points or 10 points off those turnovers. Number 12, Patrick O'Brien. He's the backup. Not seen him this year. He hasn't thrown a pass. Coach, do you think that maybe it's time to give him a shot, or too early?
Well, if I'm down there on the sideline and I'm the head coach, assuming that I've seen him in practice and I thought he was halfway decent, I'm making the change. I mean, what I've seen right now, either you're an asset or you're a liability, and Tanner Lee throwing the ball, a couple bad passes, bad decisions, and the one right into coverage, you're a liability. I'm going to give the other guy a shot.
After that hot start on that first drive where they went right down and scored, 3 of 12 since, just 11 yards and the 2 interceptions. And we are hearing some boos here at Memorial Stadium with Tanner Lee coming back onto the field.
You're being kind when you say some boos.
Yeah, a lot of boos raining down. And they'll return to the ground, and a Zigbo, all the white shirts over there to swarm and bring him down. Led by Trevor Morris. Also had John Badeke over there. That's Trevor Morris, number 15.
You know what happens in a game like this, and you can see and you can feel it. Look at that defense. I mean, they're controlling the line of scrimmage. They have more confidence. They sense that they can travel in here to Lincoln, Nebraska, and get that first Big Ten win in a while, and they're fired up.
Lost 14 straight in conference action as Rutgers. High snap. And then a flag comes in. So a lot going on here. It's going to be false start before it even got started.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's only the second penalty on Nebraska. That one on Michael Decker, the center.
He was not the normal center. Tanner Lee was lucky to come down with that. And, you know, I talked about you have a sense of confidence there for Rutgers, and at least the first couple plays, you have a sense of panic for Nebraska.
Brought up a good point, though. Michael Decker starting in place of Cole Conrad, who was bothered all week with an ankle injury at center. Not going to let Lee throw it on 2nd and 18. Instead, they go back to Ezigbo, and it's going to be 3rd and long after the tackle by Kevin Wilkins. But now you're in a situation where you have to throw the football here.
Well, you don't have to throw it, but, you know, it's awful tough when you're the play caller and or the head coach overriding anything and lost confidence in the guy that's going to throw the ball, because it frankly hasn't been very good. So you have to go with something high percentage, throw something deep, run a screenplay, or run the football.
Both Ezigbo and Wilbon in the backfield. They put Wilbon out wide to the left. Pressure comes. Lee hit as he throws incomplete. And the boos come down as Nebraska will punt it.
We talked to Bobby Diaco, and he said all 3 games were 1-score games, and you know, you can look at it the way that you want, but you know, it can be frustrating if the offense is giving pick 6 up like last week, but somehow, some way, you got to do your job and stop people.
Caleb Lightbourne into the wind. Hunter Hayek will come up, taking the 45, and Rutgers is going to have pretty good field position. And a little extracurricular activity going on outside of your screen right now. Some shoving after the punt. So we're going to stay here and get this sorted out before we step aside.
Officials did an excellent job of getting right on that scene before it escalated.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 2. That 5-yard penalty will tack on the end of the kick. First down, Rutgers.
So that will move the ball to the 50. Rutgers with a lead and great field position. House, but a quiet house right now. Rutgers with the lead, getting ready to take back over. And Elise, you were just listening in on the Nebraska huddle. What can you tell us?
I sure was, Brandon. You know, the sophomore linebacker Muhammad Berry was actually standing in front of the defense, and he was saying, "Let's go, guys, don't get down." And then Dante Williams, the cornerbacks coach, was saying, "We need a turnover. Let's go." Diaco said in this situation, his defense doesn't feel the need to step up even more. So really, just like Riley said, they need to keep playing sound defense.
That time a 3-yard gain to start the drive by Gus Edwards.
Now there's Bobby Diaco right there, sitting right in the middle, and you know, his defense has been getting better. You look at this game, and you have to think that, you know, they have gotten better, but they're behind, not because of what the defense has done, but because of mistakes by the offense.
Yeah, because the first drive for Rutgers in this game, they had 69 yards. Since then, after that run, just 70 yards. So half of their yards came on that first drive of the ball game. There's Jonathan Lewis. You mentioned at the top of the broadcast the backup quarterback might get some carries, and he had one there on that last play.
Yeah, he was dynamic, and he's a running quarterback that can also throw it. Jerry Kill told me he's only a freshman, 6'3", 240 out of East Orange. He's the best young quarterback he's ever been around. That's saying a mouthful.
Yeah, coming from him, that's high praise. He busted on the scene last week. Now he's back to the bench, and Kyle Bolin returns for 3rd and 5. Bolin rolling right, and that's over the head of Jerome Washington, who had that spectacular catch in the first half, if you were with us.
So, you think about Jonathan Lewis. Now, they were playing Morgan State last week, but he was dynamic. They put him in, and he gives you that dual threat quarterback ability, which, quite honestly, you think what Jerry Kill was able to do with Mitch Leidner at Minnesota. I mean, Mitch Leidner, they had great running backs, and he was a great running back. They potentially have the same dynamic with this young man.
Just have seen the 1 carry so far from Jonathan Lewis, and now Ryan Anderson, who has punted at the Division III, Division II, and now Division I levels, is going to jet this up beautifully inside the 5. A great punt from Ryan Anderson, the senior from DeWitt, Michigan. 42 yards, nothing on the return to pin him back.
Hey, Brandon, you know, I circled Bobby Diaco before. He's out of New Jersey. And think about this, when he's getting recruited out of high school, he made an official visit to Nebraska. He made an official visit to Rutgers, but he ended up going to Iowa. So go figure.
Two-time All-Big Ten linebacker there was Bob Diaco. But a lot of ties in this game, that's for sure, between these two programs. Chris Ash, head coach of Rutgers, grew up in Iowa. Nearby as that's handed off to Wilbon, and Wilbon with a little room. So that will get them out from the shadow of their own goalpost, a gain of 11.
Big play. You get it down there, and the minimal goal that you have, you got to get a first down to give your punter room so you can punt it without getting blocked. And excellent blocking right there. Good cut. Good yards. You keep running like that, and you get to that second level without being touched, sooner or later, you're going to break a home run.
The 85 rushing yards last week as a team against Northern Illinois. And on the ground here in this one, that's going to put them over 85 for this game. Deontay Roberts with a tackle of Mikhail Wilbon. Friday night, Nebraska will be in Champaign for a West Division matchup with the Fighting Illini. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Friday only on FS1.
I've said many times that a running game is a quarterback's best friend. Man, does he need a best friend today.
Tanner Lee with the 2 interceptions. The pick 6 earlier in this quarter to give Rutgers the lead. This time he's connecting with Pearsonell. He's going to be shy of the line to gain. Pearsonell tied his career high last week with 8 catches over 100 yards. We saw the electric return earlier for number 15. And after that reception, he's going to get a quick breather.
Here comes another one of those 3rd and 1 big plays that I talked about.
A lot of action close to the line there. As Lee turns and hands it off. First down and more. Mikhail Wilbon surging ahead.
Well, Nebraska went to an unbalanced formation with a cluster set with the wide receivers and tight ends and ran to the unbalanced side in a big hole. Credit that offensive line and off to the races.
Second career start for Mikhail Wilbon. 24 carries for him last week, and his previous career high up to that game just 6. So he is just now starting to bust onto the scene. He's spelled here by a Zigbo. But instead of a Zigbo, Lee wants to throw it, and it's over the head of DeMornay Pearsonell. And you know that nobody, maybe the exception of Mike Riley, though, feels more weight on their shoulders right now, Coach, than number 13, Tanner Lee.
Yeah, it's, I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. You got the running game going, then on first down, you take a deep shot. Maybe they haven't lost a lot of confidence in him, but that throw had no chance.
Return to the ground. It's going to make it 3rd and 8, though. Trevor Morris mentioned earlier he's so good at stopping the run, and he comes up and knocks down Jalen Bradley.
Be interesting to see what Rutgers does here. They've been successful playing coverage and picking the ball up. They've also had success on pressuring the quarterback. 3rd and long. They've been really good at getting off the field this year.
Defensive coordinator Jay Neiman told us you earn the right to rush on 3rd by being good on 1st and 2nd. Here they bring a little extra pressure. Flag comes in. The pass is complete for a first down, but let's wait to see what the yellow marker is about.
Normally it's holding when you see it there.
It's right at the line of scrimmage. We have an injury as well on the back side of this play. We're trying to sort all this out for you.
I think it's Austin.
That is Bless on Austin that's dead.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense number 50. 15-yard penalty, tacked on to the end of the play. First down.
It's on the nose tackle, Julius Turner. We've got the injury on Blesson Austin. Here's the penalty.
Yeah, heck, I think it's, yeah, I mean, it was kind of like both these guys, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah, it looked like both of them. You're exactly right. We take a break with Blesson Austin, the corner for Rutgers, down on the field. A 3:7:53 third quarter, and we went to break because of the injured corner, Blesson Austin, who was helped to the sideline, walking gingerly. He had an injury. He had the interception earlier. Very good corner, so now he's backed up by Damon Hayes, and maybe you go that way, Coach.
You know, I always thought the reason why a guy's a second teamer. Let's check his hole card right here.
Hayes is at the top of your screen in white. Instead, it'll be a handoff, and Wilbon slipping down inside the 35 to the 33.
You know, I like what Rutgers did there. You know, they're thinking that way. They know a lot of teams do that. So what do? They brought Damon Hayes on a blitz, and they had the safety go over the top. So, you know, they know Tanner's made some mistakes. Maybe he'd throw the deep fade. Safety come right over and get it. I like that thought right there by the defensive coordinator. I'm going to run the football if I'm Tanner Lee.
See what they do. This drive started all the way back at the 3. They throw it and get it to the 30-yard line. So you might be in 4-down territory here, but either way, it's a manageable 3rd down now.
Manageable 3rd down, and, you know, you would think, you know, again, they haven't been totally consistent running the football, but they've gotten better the second half. You hate to play guessing game, but you like to think it's 4-down territory, and they run and pick up 2 or 3 yards. I'm going to go for it on 4th down.
Spielman in motion. Pocket clean. Flag comes in after the completion to DeMornay Pearsonell. 10-yard gain to the 20. This flag came in from the secondary. Chris Ash hopeful. Mike Riley hopeful as well that it's on the other side. Here's Mike Cannon.
Holding. Defense number 37. Penalties decline. Result of the play, 1st down.
That's on the safety, Zane Campbell.
You're going to see 37 right there, lined up over the tight end. And, yeah, he's getting beat. He grabs and gets him to the ground. Yeah, good call by the official. Dick Honey be proud of that guy. Johnny on the spot. Good job.
Inside of 6.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter as Nebraska tries to reclaim the lead. Hand off to Jalen Bradley. We've seen that true freshman quite a bit here today.
Here come Damon Hayes again on that corner blitz, and you know they've seen it enough that you think they'd be checking out the guy's unblocked. If there's any cut back by the runner, he's going to make the hit in the backfield. Here he is right here. I mean, he coming unblocked. There's no one to pick him up. You got to see it ahead of time and make some check.
So Hayes comes in for the injured Austin and making his impact felt. Lee, complete right along the left hash mark. Connor Young, his first catch of the game.
Yeah, this is well executed. They finally got Damon Hayes a backup, and they got a man-to-man coverage, and he came off the ball and really running a good route. Connor Young and put a double move on him.
Downfield. Number 88 was covered and went downfield for the pass. 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Well, wipe all that out. No catch. Instead, it's going the other way because of Tyler Hoppus, number 88.
Yeah, that's not Tyler Hoppus' fault. It's the guy on the outside that's got him covered up, and that's the problem. So Hoppus is they call his name, but it's the guy to the outside. He's up in the line of scrimmage. He's got to be back.
Makes it a 2nd and 14. Teams at 1 and 2, trying to get to 500. Tanner Lee comes right back and picks up the 1st down anyway, finding J.D. Spielman.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, you'll see Key Hester right there. You know, you get that close to the red zone, he's thinking, man, I need to jump that. They can't go over my top. He was just a little bit late. Credit Spielman and the Cornhuskers, but dangerous throw there with that safety sitting in the middle of the field.
Getting Spielman involved early and often. He had a touchdown in the first quarter. Now on the ground, Bradley spinning away from one, but he can't escape 2 and 3. Saquon Hampton with a tackle, no gain.
Well, they had a bust up front. Anytime you get hit in the backfield like that, you'll see it right here. Man. Just blew right by him. Out physical. Got to be stronger than that.
Saquon Hampton, that's a guy that Chris Ash says has NFL talent. This is the 14th play of this drive that started all the way back inside the 5. Play number 14 is not a good one from Mikhail Wilbon. He's stopped quickly by the D tackle John Badeke. And Mike Riley, we've seen that look too much today from him.
Fellas, I'm 64 years old. You're killing me over here. You know? Come on. I mean, game's a ticking. We got to go here.
64-year-old Mike Riley hoping that Nebraska can find the end zone. They're 3 for 3 on third downs on this drive. Trying to make it 4 for 4, but the throw is behind Pearson-El, but a flag comes in, and we're going to get, I think, targeting on Hester. There's actually 2 flags. There was one early, and then I think they're going to get Kai Hester for targeting on the end of it.
Well, the ball was thrown behind him, but Tanner Lee was under extreme pressure.
Again, multiple flags. But the big reaction from everybody was on the hit by Hester at the end of this play. And this could wind up being a huge penalty in this game. Because if it's incomplete and clean, it's likely just a field goal to tie it. Whereas they might get a fresh set of downs, 1st and goal.
And they're talking something over down there.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one against each team. One's a live ball, one's a dead ball. Both penalties will be enforced. Pass interference. Offense number 88, 15-yard penalty. After the play was over, personal foul. Defense number 2. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Nebraska.
So there you go. A penalty on each side, but the bigger one against Kai Hester, as we discussed.
There's the pick. They called that. And they get rid of it, and it's a... Yeah. Everybody thought it might have been a target. I think he just got him with his chest, but it was a late hit.
Yeah, and that's what they said, Coach. Yeah. No targeting. Yeah. Just unnecessary roughness at the end of it.
So you go back 15, and then you go half the distance and get a 1st down.
Chris Ash has to be besides himself. And Dick Honig, let's welcome you in Chicago. Correct, that was not a targeting penalty, was it?
Absolutely not. No element of targeting in the play whatsoever. It's an interesting because you walk back 50 up and then half the distance, which gives us an automatic 1st down because of the dead ball foul.
Yeah, an interesting situation. They're actually outside the 10 here on the 1st down play. Even though they have the fresh set of downs. And spinning inside the 10, Mikhail Wilbon with some strong running for 3 yards.
Yeah, you think about it, they had the penalty for the pick, and then if Hester doesn't hit him late, man, that's a big play for Rutgers.
Big boys have to be tired on defense and on offense. This is a 7.5-minute drive right now.
Yeah, these offensive linemen got to start blocking down here. Backs are taking a beating trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Tanner Lee with time. Batted away. He's trying to connect again with Spielman in the end zone. Incomplete, 3rd down.
I mean, I really don't have any skin in this game, but I'm getting a little nervous with Tanner Lee throwing the ball over the middle. I mean, I don't know if you saw number 2, Hester, but he flashed in front of that again. Look at that. That ball's a little bit lower. Hester's got it picked off, and it's a little bit low. He might return it the whole way. Center field is not open.
The struggles for Tanner Lee continue. Another nail-biter for the folks here in Lincoln. Lee. That's a good pass, and it's caught for a touchdown by DeMornay Pearsonell. Eight-yard touchdown reception, a 97-yard drive. Capped by this. And we've talked about some of the bad balls that Tanner Lee has thrown. He kind of had to thread the needle there.
And as we talked about, Damon Hayes comes in at the corner, and looks like they're working on him now.
A little bit of a seesaw battle developing. Don't go anywhere. Now Nebraska leading. On a new Sports Light with Mike Hall, Ohio State's Tyquan Lewis, Sam Hubbard, Jalen Holmes, and Nick Bosa join Mike for the Elite Game to determine which one of them is the most elite in all aspects of life. It's Sports Light with Mike Hall, Wednesday at 11 Eastern, right here on BTN. Hot day in Lincoln, a lot of water needed, especially on both sides after that last drive took up 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Nebraska got the touchdown, and now a nice tackle on special teams. McNitt and Butler, Stovall all in there, helping to bring down Raheem Blackshear.
I talk about the thing in football, the X factor, momentum. And the thing, when you don't have it, you got to get it back. And when you have it, you want to keep it. And obviously they got it on offense. And then that special team play right there, man, that just excites your entire football team.
Jeremiah Stovall has seen increased playing time at corner this year with a nice tackle, and now they're making a lot of noise at Memorial Stadium. They sense maybe the tide's turning here after that long touchdown drive.
Yeah, the Bluebirds have changed their tune right now, baby. They're back to being participants, not spectators in Memorial Stadium.
From boos to cheers after our third lead change of the game. Bowling on play action. He was hit as he threw it, and it's incomplete. Oh, they say caught it. Jacobin Bailey thought he was coming up signaling incomplete. Instead, they say a 20-yard reception.
Let's look at that again, because I thought it was out like you did.
I think that left toe, maybe the left toenail was on the chalk.
You better look at that one, Dick Honig.
They are going to take another look at it. We got a couple things to watch here. Possession, and was that left foot inbounds?
I'll tell you, that was an awful good throw there by Kyle Bowen, because Nick Stoltenberg, the middle guard, number 44, he put on a great bull rush right over the center, took him all the way back, and he had the center right in the face of the quarterback, and he still put the ball on the money.
Mike Cannon talking with our replay official, James Kimmerlin. This one's close. I can't tell anything. Get those guys out of the way.
That wasn't Elise standing there, was it?
No. That was not Elise Miniker. Boy, it's tough to tell. I think it's going to be a tough one to overturn.
Yeah, the official was right on the spot. And that's what he should be looking at, is his foot.
Watch that left foot.
Ooh, man, I don't know.
It gets grainy. Everything moves so fast.
Indisputable evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the...
You might not have enough to overturn it. Okay, Dick, we need you yet again. What did you see?
Well, Brandon, you had it right down. Get that guy out of the way. It's the one shot that could have done it for us. I think it's got to stand. It's close.
Well, we're going to find out right now.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
And he did say stands, so not enough evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, and I think if they would have called it out of bounds, it would have obviously stood that way. So
Same thing.
And the one guy that had the best view of it was the official right there on the sideline, so we got to assume he got it right.
And it looks like that toe on the left foot was out, but as you said, it has to be indisputable evidence to overturn. Was it there? 20-yard reception for DeKoven Bailey. Kyle Bolin, 98 yards passing, 11 of 17. And he'll throw number 18. Great catch.
Man, great coverage, great catch. I mean, that is about as tight a coverage on receivers all the way across the board that you're going to see man-to-man, and he still got it in there.
That's Juwan Harris, first catch of the game. He's not seen much action in this game. They don't even list him on the 2 deep.
Antonio Reed was right on it, played it perfectly, got the right hand in front of him, but
catches like that, they may add him to the 2 deep. 2nd and 6. And now it's going to be 3rd and long.
now that's what you call good run defense right there.
That was Ben Stille coming up to make the tackle, Coach.
Man, they've moved him around quite a bit, too. Was a defensive end, boundary outside linebacker.
Redshirt freshman, number 95. They say he has a bright future. After a 2-yard loss, 3rd and 8 as we wind inside the final minute of quarter 3. Rutgers 0 for their last 6 on 3rd down. Bolin, pressure. Intercepted. Antonio Reed. Antonio Reed. Flag is down, but Reed is in the end zone. For the moment, it's a pick 6.
I think it's on Eric Lee. And they'll be sick about it. To a late block, and I think he went low.
If it stands, it's a 45-yard pick 6 for the junior from Memphis. But there is Lee. And they're already questioning him on the sideline.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the intercepting team. On the return, legal block in the back. Intercepting team number 22. Penalties decline. Legal block in the back. Intercepting team number 6. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Nebraska ball, 1st and 10.
So it was Eric Lee and Alex Davis, both with blocks in the back.
Yeah, you got one right there. You got one right there. Pushing the back. Yeah.
After the interception. And instead of Antonio Reed taking it the distance, it will be Nebraska starting just inside the 40.
Critical error.
First interception by Bolin. Zimbo taking Nebraska into the red zone.
And you know, Brandon, we haven't talked about it very much, but if there is a wind advantage, Rutgers had it this quarter. They're gonna lose it now.
And they've lost that lead 21-17. Will Nebraska get one more play off? They will. And it's a Zigbo once more. Not as much success as the last carry. No gain. We've had 3 lead changes. The game continues to be interesting. Rutgers have the interception. Nebraska returning the favor. It's 21-17 Huskers. TV as we go to the 4th quarter. Hot day in Lincoln. 357th consecutive sellout, 85,000 strong. on hand, hoping that the Nebraska Cornhuskers can improve this to a 2-score advantage. It's a handoff inside. Divine Ezigbo, the pile pushing him forward for a little, but not much. Tackle to be credited to Darnell Davis. Let's bring you the game summary in case you're just tuning in. There's the story that we have seen so far. 3 interceptions in this game.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, to date, Rutgers has capitalized more on the turnover interception than Nebraska has because of the penalty. And, you know, sure, Mike Riley on the sideline says without that penalty, we're up and we're down by 4. We don't need a field goal. We got to get this ball in the end zone.
Nebraska's been good in the red zone. Their 3 previous trips have all resulted in touchdowns. That pass incomplete. Reaching out the left arm, Connor Young could not quite haul it in.
Well, you got to kick the field goal now. Ooh. He was open. Pass was just high.
And the young sophomore got a mid on it, but it's 4th down and 8. And a big kick, 32 yards for Drew Brown.
Huge.
Snap and hold and kick, all good. So that does push it to a 7-point lead. 24-17, Nebraska. Back in Lincoln, a Nebraska field goal makes it now a 7-point advantage, but Rutgers held tough there to keep it a 1-possession game. And we're back here in the booth. Brandon Godwin, Glenn Mason. I've got a surprise for you. Your buddy Dick Honig, back in the studio, wanted me to give you a gift because you've been so darn good at breaking down all the calls this year. This is from Dick Honig.
It is, huh?
Now open that up.
Oh.
Show everybody at home what you got. The former coach.
Huh?
Yeah, it's got a C on that for coach, too.
I will wear that with pride. I want to tell you, Dick, that's the nicest thing that you ever did for me, but it does not make up for all those blown calls that you had while I was coaching. I want to tell you that.
Oh, but I can try, can't I?
Yeah, that's right. A for effort.
Hey, that's good stuff. That is great stuff. Thanks for letting us show that here in the booth. Well, you certainly wouldn't be doing that if you were still a head coach.
Well, you're right, but more important things is they had to settle for the field goal. It's a 1-score game rather than a 2-score game.
Great stuff, and thanks to Dick Honig for sending that along. And play resumes in a tight contest here in the 4th quarter with a touchback that will bring it out to the 25. Total yards this half, 112 for Nebraska, just 26 for the Scarlet Knights, so they will try to right the ship here.
You know, I don't mind getting set up by an official, but partner, you were part of that. I can't believe that. And Wrestler and Pat O'Connor and the rest of those guys, I bet Elise even knew about it.
There is a note inside I need to give you that says that he has been duly impressed with your rules knowledge and your ability. So
he wasn't when I was coaching, I can tell you that.
That's what I was saying. If you were still coaching, that would have never happened.
I said to him one time, I said, Honig, did you ever play football? He said, no. I said, it's obvious. He said, let me ask you a question. Did you ever officiate? I said, no.
There you go.
That's obvious, too.
There you go. Bolin is going to turn around and give it to Gus Edwards. We saw a lot of Gus in the first half, not as much here in the second. That time a 5-yard carry. Just his second carry this half.
But, you know, getting back to Bob Diaco, what he talked about, in a tight game, he's talking about those 1-score games, of which we're in right now. Somehow, some way, the defense, as far as he's concerned, make the play, win the game. You can win it on defense, too.
You're right, though. Every game has gone down to the wire so far this year, all 4 weeks for Nebraska. Both teams sitting at 1-2, and that pass is just thrown away by Kyle Bolin.
Yeah, you know, it's another one of those. I think they were expecting a soft corner play by Nebraska. They rolled up. There was no gimme throw. Bolin had no choice. Throw it in the cheap seats.
What do you think we're going to see here, Coach?
Well, you know, time's a ticking. You know, I think you're going to see Bolin. He's had some confidence. Yeah, he threw a pick, but they're going to throw the football.
The interception is part of a streak here where he's 2 for his last 8, but he was in a groove early.
I would think you see some type of crosser because they're anticipating man coverage by the Huskers.
Rutgers has struggled on third down. Here comes that pressure, and he just flips it away. Incomplete.
Yeah, and there's a flag because there was a crossing route, and without a doubt, there was a pick by Rutgers. Late flag, but it was obvious.
It is indeed against the Scarlet Knights.
Pass interference. Offense number 88. Penalties declined. 4th down.
You called it, Coach, and Rutgers now 0 for their last 8 on third down.
Yeah, they anticipated man coverage, and you'll see it right here. Look, watch 88 right there. Now watch. This is an obvious pick. I mean, they're not going to miss that, Jerome Washington. They're just not.
It's a guy we were praising earlier in the game, and the Nebraska defensive coordinator, Bob Diaco, said he was so worried about. Pearsonell coming up. Dangerous to catch that. He had to deal with a wind, which is right around 20 miles per hour. But he does bring it in. It's a short 30-yard punt, and that certainly does not help Rutgers' cause. Tuesday on an all-new Campus East, Troy Johnson and Jenny Dell show you the can't-miss places to eat around the Big Ten. When they hit those campus institutions, catch a brand-new Campus East presented by Eat Street. Tuesday at 10 Eastern right here on BTN.
And now Danny Langsdorff, the offensive coordinator for Husker, he's telling us, guys, hey, we need to win those 8-minute drives and get a score, and this game will be ours.
The last drive, 8 minutes and 10 seconds. When Nebraska had the football, ate up so much clock. 4 yards that time on first down for Divine Azigbo before he's brought down by Hampton and Roberts.
And now you're thinking starts, because you move the ball as long as you can get a field goal, as we mentioned before, to get it to a 2-score game. That's huge. You get it there, and then the other thing that becomes your best friend is the clock that's ticking in the 4th quarter.
Inside of 13 minutes. Clean pocket that time for Tanner Lee, and he's able to get it to midfield to Tyler Hoppus.
Yeah,
first down.
He went front side. He didn't like what he saw. He got his head back and put it on the money. But, you know, really for Nebraska to progress as an offense, when you look at the game, you see the big picture, they need that running game to take control of this game right now.
Tanner Lee trying to calm back down, had 2 interceptions, the pick 6. A carry, a powerful carry. The fans love it. Divine Azigbo, and that is why. Trevor Morris eventually had to drag him down, not before 11 yards were gained.
Hey, now all my buddies back at the hotel that you're talking about, I got them to give them the ball a lot today, and look at that. You got to be happy, but I see now why you've been thinking they got to give Azigbo the ball. He's a load to tackle.
Last year had just over 400 yards, battled an ankle injury second half of the season. He's got 52 yards here in this game. Nebraska's a team 151, much better than the 85 against Northern Illinois. Short carry, but we want to switch back to talk about the cornerback, and Elise Miniker has more on Tanner Lee's leadership.
Brandon, you had mentioned that Lee is trying to calm down. Well, we watched him lead the team downfield in a 97-yard drive and then pick up a few points after the Antonio Reed interception. J.D. Spielman told me that the past couple of weeks at practice, Lee has just been on another level. He says he always practices hard, but he's really stepped it up. Offensive coordinator Danny Langsdorff said that he's been more vocal. He was voted captain before even taking a snap for this team, so they really buy into Lee, and they trust his leadership. Glenn, I know he might make you nervous at times, but they're behind him.
Yeah, they have been effusive in their praise, especially in the locker room. Here's Azigbo again. They're finding a nice groove with number 22 right now.
Well, Danny, he called up the right play right there. They came with the blitz, and he had a guy to account for it, and he handed the ball off, and then he faked the throw, and off to the races. This is an impressive drive by the Cornhuskers, and at the same time, Rutgers knows what's going on. They got to get desperate. You know, they know that the position of this game, they can't let a score on the board, so they're going to gamble a little bit.
68 yards, 52 of those this half. Do you keep riding that Zigbo train?
All the way, baby.
It has been close throughout. 3 lead changes. Nobody's led by more than a score. And O-line continues to provide a good push. And Zigbo is doing the rest, taking that inside the 15.
Got the only other play that I'd come with right now, because they're pounding the Zigbo in there, is I run that play where they fake a Zigbo and then give it to J.D. Spielman going around the end. Because everybody's got to be sucking in playing that run right now.
A punishing runner. He's going to get a breather.
They're not going to do that here. They're going to get the first down. And
so Mikhail Wilbon is now the lone setback. And it will be Wilbon. Stutter step, thought about going to the outside, came to the inside. Nice tackle by the corner, Isaiah Wharton, and that makes it 3rd down and 1.
Well, I had a good line. That's when I liked it. Had the quarterback under center and the threat of the quarterback sneak, for a yard. You got a good center and 2 guards. It's reliable.
There's the 3rd down conversion. Nebraska 4 of their last 5 converted on 3rd down. And we're going to have a timeout called by Rutgers. We'll take the break with them. 8:45 left in the 4th.
Second level. He's got another gear. They are not going to catch him. Jack Hoffman to the end zone. Husker touchdown.
Oh, there truly is no place like Nebraska. That is outstanding.
What a moment from 4.5 years ago. 7-year-old pediatric brain cancer patient Jack Hoffman running for a touchdown in the spring game. So memorable, and now play resumes. Trying to get the first down pickup on 3rd down. And it's close. Flag comes in late at the end. Monday night, BTN continues the anniversary celebration with a look at the most exciting plays, highlights, and moments from the 10-11 season. Don't miss BTN 10 Big Years presented by Auto Owners Insurance, Monday 7:30 Eastern right here on BTN. So that graphic
the official signaled first down, and then there was a flag.
To first down yardage.
Well, I thought the official signaled first down, and then there was a flag. What the flag is, I don't have any idea.
They did move the chains.
The result of the play is the first down. After the play's over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 67. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 6. Those fouls offset. Result of the play is first down.
So, offsetting penalties. Connor Ketter, by the way, is the guy who was down for Nebraska.
I'll be honest, I just don't understand in this situation, and I know there's offsetting penalties, but Gerald Foster, you're fighting for your life here at Nebraska. It's been a rough go. You're trying to get a win. You get it in here, and personal foul.
Not smart.
Even if the other guy pushed first, whatever, it just makes absolutely no sense.
Have a first down. Nebraska just dominating time of possession here in this second half as we've got whistles before the snap.
And Brandon, I'll tell you that Rutgers defense, they look tired. I noticed after the last timeout, they walk back on that field. This game, this weather, it's taking its toll.
No flag. The clock did not start, but yeah, Nebraska's had the ball for over 16.5 minutes. Rutgers less than 5. To your point, Coach. This defense has to be fatigued. Remember the scoring drive of 8 minutes and 10 seconds that Nebraska had earlier. There are the numbers there on the left side of your screen. Oh, Lee slipped, but he was able to get it to a Zigbo. And he'll take it inside the 10.
Looked like someone stepped on him.
Might have been the turf monster.
And there's Mike Riley again. Let's watch the.
Yeah, I think it was Tanner Farmer that may have flipped his foot.
I think the right guard stepped on him, and Mike Lee said, "I got another migraine over here now."
He's had his hands on his knees a lot in this
It shouldn't be this tough, fellas. That's what he's thinking.
Second 9, Ezigbo still the lone setback. Ron goes in motion. They hand it off the tight formation. Ezigbo got clipped and the ball came out. Oh, how huge could this be for Rutgers? And it will remain Nebraska football. Let's see it again.
You can see. I don't understand the position of some of those guys. You saw Michael Decker. He's got his shoulders turned. Ball's out. Where is it?
Boy, Sebastian Joseph, number 51 for Rutgers, had a great chance to recover it, but he could not grab it. Watch the play clock. Lee just gets it off and hands to Ezigbo. They go right back to Ezigbo, and now it's 4th down. Good thing here for Mike Riley and company. A field goal does make it a 2-score game.
Made by number 99 and Kevin Lucas.
Not that that's what they wanted, Coach, but this is a big field goal right here.
Yeah, assuming that it's good.
That's true.
Where it's not blocked. We've seen some crazy things in the kicking game the first third of this season in college football.
Drew Brown, 51 of 67 in his career. Brother Chris went here and then had 11 years in the NFL. This is a chippy from 27. And it is perfect. So Drew Brown does his job. We had an 8-minute plus drive earlier. This a 7-minute and 16-second drive that results in 3. It is brought to you in part by State Farm, here to help life go right. And by Eat Street, the smartest shortcut between hungry and happy. It's a view outside Morrill Hall on a nice day in Lincoln, Nebraska. And the home team, the Cornhuskers, they've had 13 straight points scored. And they now lead it by 10. Quickly want to send our best wishes to Brian Holder, great member of our crew, as this is going to go through the end zone for a touchback. But Brian Holder back home in St. Louis, and partner, we hope you get back to 100% as soon as possible. We are thinking about you. Inside of 6 minutes, so Rutgers coaches 31 yards of offense in this half. What can they do to try to move the ball down the field quicker?
Well, Morgan Hughes, they got to go quick. They got to go up-tempo. I'm not sure they have to do a 2-minute offense, but they can't be running the ball for 3 or 4 yards a clip. They got to be moving the chains, getting first downs, or catching the ball out of bounds, or throwing it deep and get a big play. So I would think that even though Jerry Kill likes to win a close game by running the football, he's going to have to really open it up here.
Some of those Nebraska fans feel pretty confident because they were starting to head for the exits, as you saw a moment ago. But yeah, Rutgers just 1 first down this half. Nebraska has 13 of them. They've had 2 scoring drives of over 7 minutes, 1 of over 8 minutes.
You think about second half defense this year that Nebraska played, pretty impressive.
Really, the one blemish was that first half against Oregon, where they gave up the lopsided 42 points. As Kyle Boland throws that incomplete.
And then shut him out the second half.
Shut him out the second half.
I mean, it's I don't know what you do. I don't know if they're superior conditioning. I don't know if Bob Diaco's making unbelievable halftime adjustments, but whatever they're doing, it's working. They're awful tough in the second half. And they would have, they had a pick 6, except for a couple unfortunate penalties.
And Antonio Reed was going to return that 45 yards to the house. Well, he actually did, but then 2 blocks in the back. And it was nullified. Boland is 2 for his last 10. I'll make it 3 for his last 11 as he's able to complete that to Hunter Hayek. He shoved out after 9 yards.
Yeah, exceptional pass protection by Rutgers. They had some pressure coming. They picked everything up. Just watch it right here. Twist stunt. They picked it up perfectly. Stands tall in the pocket, puts the ball in the money, gives them a chance to convert, keep the ball.
This has been a point of struggle today for Rutgers. 2 of 10.
Yeah, you know if they don't make it here, they're going for a 4th down. They have to, but they'd like to get it right here.
3 receivers stacked to the top. They will go on the ground, and they will pick it up. Gus Edwards stretching out for the first down before he's tackled by Luke Gifford.
Yeah, the strategy there was spread everybody out. And even though everybody knows they're going to run the football, they put 3 guys out there. You got to go cover them. Easier to make a guy cover you out there than be in the box and have to block him.
Created enough room for Edwards to pick up the first, but they're inside of 5 minutes. Bowling with all kinds of time and right through the hands of Jerome Washington. He was in his own zip code. Throw a little behind him, though.
Yeah.
Is that more on the quarterback?
Oh, absolutely. And, he's Kyle Boland's not under any pressure. That should be perfect pass.
Time the pocket not as clean, throwing off his back foot in the direction of Hayek. The coverage was good by Eric Lee.
Yeah, you see him stand right there, and people aren't actually getting to him, but that was not classic footwork and quarterback delivery right there. He was side arming him, stepping back, and
all the turmoil this week in Nebraska, letting go of AD Sean Eichhorst. They were down early in this game, up 10 now, and looking for a final stop. 3rd and 10, and Bowman just flings it ahead as he's hit. Dedrick Young, the inside linebacker, getting to him, and now it's 4th down.
Yeah, they had a delayed linebacker blitz with the lineman crisscrossing up front. Just watch it right here. You see the twist stunt, and then he's going to come, and someone's going to come around the back, and he just, it's desperation. And
they are lining up to punt. Surprised by this?
A little bit, but you figure they're going to punt it away, use their timeouts, hopefully the defense, and because if they don't get it here on 4th and long, game is over. So I don't think it's a bad decision.
Seen some great punts. Ryan Anderson. Really nice punt. Setting him back near the 5. 58-yard punt by Anderson with no return. 4:28 left. Bo makes him our Duluth hardest working player here today. And 63 yards in the second half, and Rutgers has only had 52 yards as a team in the second half, Coach.
Well, he's not doing it all by himself. He's doing a great job of running tough, but I think the offensive line picked up their play the second half also, and the defense of Nebraska came to play that second half.
Great punt does pin him back inside the 10. Mikhail Wilbon, it's not a Zigbo there, but Wilbon with a strong run out to the 15.
You know, strong running by running backs becomes contagious. You know, Zigbo goes in there and he runs and gives that legs effort, and all of a sudden Wilbon goes in there and says, you know, I better do the same thing here a little bit, you know. And Trey Bryant, he hasn't played in a couple of weeks. He's sitting over there and he says, I better get healthy. I better get in that training room tomorrow and get a little ice on that knee of mine, because if I'm out too long, I'm not going to get any more reps.
Stay tuned. Mike Hall, Howard Griffith, Chuck Long will be along for the State Farm postgame. Get you caught up on everything happening in the Big Ten today. Keeping it on the ground, why not? It's a Zigbo. So each back trying to one-up the other. First down. Coach, you have mentioned, especially recently, that this Nebraska program is still a marquee program. You feel that way, don't you?
I do. You look at the 5 national championships, the great players that have come through all the conference championships, and I refer to them as one of the marquee schools of the Big Ten. And, man, do I take a beating from some people. My neck of the woods up there, the Wisconsin people, they get after me. How can you call them a marquee school and Wisconsin isn't? Look what they did in recent history. And they're talking about Wisconsin. I said, I understand that. I think Wisconsin has done a fabulous job. Look at the number of Rose Bowls, look at the number of times they've played in Indianapolis in the conference championship. But I'm talking about historically.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I'm not even talking about ancient history, but I think most people around the country, you're looking at certain names that are historically they would call marquee football schools. Nebraska is one of them. Are they playing like it right now? No, I'm the first to admit that. They're trying to get back to that, and they've been trying to get back to that since 1999. If they don't get back to it pretty soon, I won't call them a marquee school anymore.
But when you're still selling out a stadium of this size, 85,000 for 357 consecutive games, I'm with you. That to me says marquee program. As a short carry, and Rutgers is going to take a timeout before the third down play. We'll be right back to Lincoln. Defense responsible for today's Eat Street fastest delivery. They have been good.
52 yards. Good. Is that the? I would say great.
Great. Excellent.
52 yards.
Superb.
What
else can we think?
I would say that was black shirtish. How's that?
That's the moniker of this defense. The rich history that they have here in Lincoln. Strong run of Zigbo, and that's going to put him over 100 yards for the game. So 4th down and another timeout with 2:04 on the clock. Memorial Stadium is the spot. 27-17. Rutgers has just burned their last timeout.
And I'm going to tell you, the Big Red, it is hot here today. And as I look at this press box across the way, those people still sitting there in the sun right in their eyes, that's impressive.
Final reminder coming up, State Farm post-game report. You're right, though. That sun has been beating down, temperatures in the low 90s. But they came, they saw, and they're hoping to conquer. This punt is going to bounce nicely. It just continued to bounce and bounce and bounce before finally going out at the 6. A 64-yard punt for Caleb Lightbourne.
And now, you know what happens is, obviously, Rutgers are in desperation mode, and Kyle Boland's back there, and he thinks he's got to do something. More often than not, you see a turnover right now.
Boland does have one interception in this game. But such an atmosphere walking around here. My first experience today on game day, even with a struggling program and all the turmoil around it. Boy, you wouldn't know that walking around campus.
No, you're right. I mean, they have their questions.
Sure.
More than criticisms, I'd say. You can read between the lines because I was getting attacked in the lobby.
Oh, my goodness.
You saw that. But, and if you're Bob Diaco, you've 52 yards and you want to be stingy, but you don't want to give up a cheap one, so you don't want to be too aggressive here.
See what Boland does. Safe underneath throw over the middle to Jerome Washington.
Now here's the difference. Bob Diaco is saying, man, come on now. And Coach Riley is saying, we'll give that to him all day long. Don't worry about it.
It's just a 7-yard gain. Inside of 90 seconds, and Rutgers needs nothing short of a miracle. They go right back to Jerome Washington. And he just got popped by Eric Lee, but he was able to hold on. First down. Got to try to move faster than this.
Yeah.
We've got almost 80 yards to go and you're down 10.
Took him 15 seconds to snap the ball.
And it is intercepted by Luke Gifford. You said it, Coach, in these situations, Quarterbacks tend to feel like they need to make a play, and that time Gifford picks it, and that will seal it for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah. I've been on the wrong end of that a few times in my career. I don't want to tell you, but the clock management was not good because they got a first down and they had 1:19 on the clock. The clock stops, and they used up 15 seconds before they snapped the ball. And time is precious.
So each team with 2 interceptions, and for Luke Gifford, his first pick of the season. And he's really been one of the bright spots this year. A nice interception to seal it for Mike Riley, and he can breathe a sigh of relief as Tanner Lee goes down to a knee. We'll have to do that just one more time. Chris Ash will see that Big Ten losing streak continue. It's now 15 straight losses for Rutgers in conference play. But again, he feels that he's got a team that is so much better than last year. And look, they were very, very competitive today here against a team who felt like their backs were against the wall.
Well, you know, you look at progress, and you know you've got to be pleased, I think, with the progress that the defense in Nebraska is making under Bob Diaco. We talked about the second half, and you know they still have some problems. That offense is still a work in progress. I still think the key to them is really consistency in the run game. If they get that going, because they got a young line and they got some injuries there, but they got good backs. If they get that running game going with that defense, the potential in the kicking game, the Huskers are going to be okay. Well, and for Rutgers, they're an improved football team.
Yeah, they really are. That's evident. But that second half defense for Nebraska, allowing 0 offensive points, only allowed 58 total yards, and then they had the 2 takeaways. And Divine Azigbo, number 22 there, he was able to rush for over 100 yards in this game. And Elise Menaker is with Mike Riley.
Brandon, thanks, Coach. Your offense dominated the time of possession in the second half, but your defense there, they just sealed the deal, but they've been playing well. What do you like out of them?
Yeah, I think our defense has been growing actually weekly, and today was lots of good defense, and you know, I think that we kind of complemented it in the second half with better offense and probably some timely runs, and obviously it was a great punt return for us that set the tone.
Didn't come easy. Was a seesaw battle. What impressed you most about your team today, the way they overcame adversity?
I've been really impressed with this group of guys. I think that's exactly what impressed me today. There was a lot of adversity, a lot of stuff, a lot of guys that were hurt, a lot of guys, brand new guys that played, first-time starters, and so I'm really proud of them. I thought they played hard, and we've had to play the whole game for now 4 games in a row, so that's our life, I guess.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Brandon, back to you.
Every game has gone down to the wire. 2 of them now wins and 2 losses, as Rutgers cannot quite pull off the upset here in Lincoln. 27-17 is the final. And that will do it from Lincoln, Nebraska, with a 10-point victory for Glenn Mason, Elise Menaker. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Coming up after the break, we will have the State Farm postgame show from our Chicago studio. Mike Howard and Chuck standing by. But right now we say so long from Lincoln.